You've got this innate drive to succeed. You've got this innate drive within you to do and be better. You've got this innate drive within you to have great purpose. The problem is society has given us all of this clutter and garbage that has us place doubts on ourselves. Society has placed all of these norms on us that make it to where we don't want to go backwards before we can go up. We don't want to go down before we can go up, because what is XYZ person going to think about me? What is my spouse going to think about me? What are my parents going to think about me? What are my coworkers or friends going to think about me when I go from making $50,000 a year to $25,000 a year? What do people think about us? We need to stop caring about that. That baby bird could care less about what anything thought about it, because it's got the innate drive to fly. What is up, guys and gals? Trevor coming at you. I haven't done a Trevor Truck Talk in a little while. We've been adjusting some of our podcast stuff here at Carrot, and now that Brady, my content and digital genius, is here in my office with me, he's been challenging me to up the audio quality a bit. So we are going to keep doing some Trevor Truck Talks, but we're going to be mixing it up and upping the audio quality a little bit too. So I'm recording this one in my office, and also I've got the video camera up on my computer. And if you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel, you're going to be able to see the video version of any of our podcasts except for the Trevor Truck Talks. Those are not recorded on video, but head over to YouTube and subscribe over there. So the big topic I want to talk about in this episode right here is that you have to go down before you can go up. And when I really think about, number one, here's a clear reason why, y'all. Okay. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people who are just getting started, real estate investors, real estate agents, entrepreneurs in the software side of things. And one thing that's out there is we all have this stigma. We all have this stigma that if we take a step backwards for some reason, that's a negative thing. That if we take a step backwards, that's a hit on our ego. And I've had those as well. So let me kind of go back in my story. And I've done this episode a few on this topic before. But in my story, y'all, out of college, I moved up to Portland, Oregon. Didn't have a job. I was giving myself about a year to try to figure this entrepreneur thing out. And I didn't have any money. I paid my taxes on my credit card bill that year. And I was already kind of at the lowest that you could pretty much get financially. I made $16,000 that year. Wasn't doing too hot. But then I started to figure some things out. And over the next 4, 5, 6 years, I built my income, mid, late 20-something-year-old guy, to 100, 150. One year, I even hit $200,000 in taxable income. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying it to give context for what I'm going to say next. Okay. So when I was going through the phase of my life, when I was trying to transform to be the version of myself I wanted to be. And many of you might be able to relate to this, that you know that there's a better you out there. You know that there's this version of you that is happier. You know there's a version of you that is more purposeful and feels passion and purpose for your work. You know there's a version of you out there that you know is just going to light up the world and have an amazing income and impact people. But for some reason, you haven't found it yet. Right. And that was me in 2010, 11, 12. And so one year, this has been in 2010, 2011, made $150,000 a year, dollars that year. And I was miserable. And what I had to do is I had to make some key decisions. I go over in a different episode. We'll link up this episode below on the 8 key decisions I had to make in my life to get to where I am today. It's an amazing episode. So much feedback and comments on it. Click it in the show notes on our blog. Okay. But what I had to do was I had to be okay with going down before I could go back up. I had to take my income from $150,000 that year to $27,000 the next year. Okay. $27,000 in 2012. And I was absolutely pumped about it. Now you might be asking, why the heck was I pumped about my income basically getting cut by, a factor of 90%, 80%, 70%, whatever it is? It's because of this. And I'm gonna say an analogy and a story here for you. And if you're watching the video version of this, if you're watching the video version of this on YouTube, I've actually got a drawing behind me on my new whiteboard here in the office with a tree, a seed, and a bird. A tree, a seed, and a bird. A tree, a seed, and a bird. Now, why does a seed, a tree, and a bird matter in this case? Here's this. So if I were to hand you, you put out your hand, okay, wherever you are. If you're driving, don't do this, but put out your hand, palm facing up. And imagine me taking the seed and placing it in front of you and saying, here's this seed to this apple tree. Okay. This is going to become a tree, or this is a tree. You'd look at it and go, that's not a tree, that's a seed. And I go, well, it is a tree. It just has to completely transform into something completely new, completely different in order to be the tree. Okay. This seed, this is a tree. You are successful. You are happy. You are living with purpose. But you've got to transform into something completely different, completely new to get there, just like the seed. So you take that seed, you go, okay, I say, it's a tree. It's a tree. You said, no, it's not. It's a seed. It's okay. Plant that seed in the ground. Plant the seed in the ground. You put some dirt over it. You start watering it. And what does the seed have to do before it can grow up? What does the seed have to do before it can grow up into the air? Well, a tree first gets formed by the roots, the root system going down. It doesn't start going up. It starts going down. Okay. So if you're looking at my diagram here, you've got the seed right there in the middle. And then the roots, you just picture the roots starting to snake their way down into the dirt. And then eventually, once it builds this foundation, it builds a foundation that it can grow on. Then you start to see the first sprouts going upward. And then eventually that first sprout cracks out of the top of the dirt, and you see this little tiny, delicate green sprout that anything could come along, an animal, a strong wind, something could come along, a person could step on it and ruin it at any moment. It's very fragile. It's not strong at that point, but it's got a foundation of roots below it that even if it gets stepped on, it's still going to be able to grow. Even if it gets munched on by a little animal, it's still going to be able to grow. So fast forward 15, 20 years, this sprout forms into an amazing, strong tree. Okay, so it finally grew up. It transformed into something completely different. It's no longer a seed. There's nothing in it that resembles a seed anymore. It's fully a tree. And then a bird flies by, a mama bird flies by. And this mama bird hops in this tree. It starts to make this amazing nest. It starts to make a home. Okay, so now that tree is producing fruit. It's producing things. It has purpose. Okay, it's feeding people. It's providing a house and a home and a place to live for so many animals and insects. It's got purpose now. Okay. And then this bird eventually lays some eggs and has some baby birds. And those baby birds are up there cheeping away. And the mama has to keep on coming, fly back and feed the baby birds. But eventually that baby bird gets up on the edge of this nest. And it looks down and it's a little bit frightened. It's never done this before. It's never done this before. And it looks at its mom up there in the sky going, I want to go up there. I want to be up there. How do I do that? The only way for that baby bird to get there is to stand on the edge of that nest, to look down and take the leap of faith. And what do? They go down before they can go up. Okay, and I'm pointing at the diagram here. That baby bird jumps right out of that nest, and it goes down, then it flaps its wings, it's flapping its wings, it's flapping its wings. Eventually, air gets underneath them. Eventually, it starts to get some lift. Eventually, it starts to get more lift, and eventually, it's flying. And this bird has now transformed mentally into something completely different. Just moments before, it was up there in the nest, and it thought that it was a land-based animal. It thought, this is my home. This is where I hang out. But it had this transformation. It saw its mom living by example. It saw other birds living by example. It had this innate drive to fly. And you've got this innate drive to fly as well. You've got this innate drive to succeed. You've got this innate drive within you to do and be better. You've got this innate drive within you to have great purpose. The problem is society has given us all of this clutter and garbage that has us place doubts on ourselves. Society has placed all of these norms on us that make it to where we don't want to go backwards before we can go up. We don't want to go down before we can go up, because what is XYZ person going to think about me? What is my spouse going to think about me? What are my parents going to think about me? What are my coworkers or friends going to think about me when I go from making $50,000 a year to $25,000 a year? Or what is my spouse going to think about me if I'm up there looking to make an investment in myself and I only have $30,000 in the bank account, and this investment costs $10,000, and I know this investment can help me transition to that next level of myself? What do people think about us? We need to stop caring about that. That baby bird could care less about what anything thought about it because it's got the innate drive to fly. It stood on the edge of the nest. It looked down. It was nervous. It was scared. It had never done that before, but it knew because its mom was up there that it could do that. The possibility was there. All it had to do was take a leap, but it had to go down before it could come up. So how does this relate to you? So in 2011, once again, I had to take the leap of faith, the same one that the bird made, the same thing that seed did to become a tree. Okay, I had to go, okay, I am this person right now that I need to shed the shell that this seed has. When you see a seed start to grow, it actually has this shell, this outer coating on the seed, that's the first thing that splits. And only when that shell splits can the rest of the inside of the seed start to grow and grow roots and grow a sprout. So what shell do you currently have around you that you need to break? For me, that shell, it was insecurity. It was a shell of insecurity around income, because I remember down in California with my younger brother. He was in college. I was sitting there in his house, This is 2011, 2012, and probably 2011. And I remember showing him, this campaign that I had ran, and we had done like $15,000 in income in one day. And almost all that was net profit. And I was so proud of myself because I struggled for 3, 4, 5 years before that to figure out how to make income. And at that moment, I thought I had it figured out. And I remember literally thinking this in that moment. I literally thought my income is never going to go below $15,000 a month. I had that thought, and I had it with conviction that my income would never go below that because I had quote unquote figured it out. I had quote unquote figured out how to make money and how to make an income. The problem was I didn't figure out how to do it while being happy, how to do it while having purpose, how to do it while truly adding a ton of value to the world. I wasn't subtracting value. I just wasn't where I wanted to be. Okay. And so what I had to do was I had to shed that shell of insecurity that, you know what, it's okay if I step backwards in my income in order to grow a foundation to go back up. If you look at working out, okay, this past year and a half has been a life changer for me. I had to shed some preconceived notions. I had to shed that shell of not really insecurity in that moment, but I had to shed the shell of, it's almost like, I'm someone who doesn't ask for help. Okay, I grew up in a German Catholic family. My grandparents are farmers. My dad grew up on the farm, and as you can imagine, a German Catholic farming family, no one asks for help. Okay, there's very, very little emotion, and really people don't ask for help. So I've adopted a lot of that. And with my fitness journey, I just thought, you know what? If I'm really going to do this, it's all got to be up to me. If I'm really going to do this, I've got to just buckle down. I've got to get discipline. I've just got to get up and do it. And I had to shed that misconception. I had to shed this thought that you've got to go it alone. And so what I did is I brought Jen, my assistant, and I'm like, all right, Jen, I've got to transform into a new person. Because now, with Carrot, this was a year and a half to 2 years ago, I was looking at that mama bird up in the air. I was looking at where I wanted to be. I was looking at the tree. I'm the seed. I was looking at the tree and going, here's this person I want to become. I'm not them right now. How do I need to fundamentally change? And what part of the shell do I need to crack? And how do I do that? And for me, I had to become more physically active because I had to get my energy back, y'all. For me to become that tree, to produce more fruit and to help more people and do things like that, I had to become a different person. I had to get my energy back. I've talked about this in future podcasts. In order for me to be a beacon of positivity and possibility, like my core values poster says, I have to not have afternoon crashes in the afternoon at 2, 3 in the afternoon anymore, right? That means I've got to eat better. I've got to drink a ton of water. I've got my Carrot water bottle right here. I drink about 100 to 110 ounces of water a day now, and it completely lights me up. It's easy to drink that much water once you just start doing it. Okay, but I had to completely shed the shell and become someone new to really become the tree. So I want to do this. I want to give you permission. I want to give you permission to step backwards, to go down before you go up. I want to give you permission that it's okay. I want to give you permission, first of all, that if anyone thinks anything bad about it, the thought is probably on themselves. It's probably not on you. That's one thing I had to adopt years ago that I remember right out of college, I decided to not get a job, like I said. And all of my college friends, y'all, had great jobs. We graduated from a school where it's an amazing technical school, amazing engineering school, amazing medical school. And oh, by the way, it has a business program. And so I graduated from the business program. And all of them graduated from engineering or medical or something like that. And so out of college, they all had $45,000, $55,000, $75,000 a year jobs. And here's Trevor with a $16,000 income, dragging down the average starting salary of Oregon Institute of Technology. And so we'd get together with my friends and for Christmas or holidays or even at their parents' house. And the question is always, what is Trevor doing? He doesn't have a job. Like, what is he doing? We've all got jobs. We're doing good. We think we're high in the hog. The funny thing is most of them want out of their jobs now. But the question would always be, so Trevor, what are you doing? And I was trying to explain what I was trying to do. I was trying to explain what I was learning, the things I was learning about real estate and marketing and doing some consulting stuff. But I really couldn't encapsulate who I was and what I was doing. So what I told them was I said, I've got a plan. That was kind of the running joke for 1, 2, 3, 4 years was I've got a plan. Okay, I've got a plan. And during that time, there were so many people that they weren't really making fun of me, but I did take some of them as little jabs, like kind of little fun jabs. None of them were trying to hurt my feelings or anything. But after, eventually it becomes something to where you just know going into that situation that people are wondering, what is this dude doing? Like, why doesn't he just go get a job and support his wife? But what I had to do was I had to completely ignore any of that criticism, from some of my family members, some from my friends. And I'm like, you know what? I love them to death. And I'm gonna put them over in this spot of my life. I'm gonna completely love on them over there. And I'm gonna completely trust and count on them in this box of advice. This box of advice over here, I'm not gonna listen to. I'm going to hear it, but it's going to completely pass through me because that does not serve me. That's not serving me. That's more speaking of their own insecurities on them being able to do what I'm doing. That's more speaking to their own insecurities that they can't do what I'm setting out to do. Okay. Anytime someone criticizes you like that, anytime someone does that, they're speaking to their own insecurities that they know they can't do or won't want to do or have no ability to do what you're setting out to do. So that's where you need to put your head down and go, you know what? I've got a plan, and march down, execute the crap out of that plan. And in order to do that, y'all, once again, think about the seed. Think about me placing this seed in your hand. And once again, I want you to take the picture in your mind and think about, this isn't a seed, this is a tree. This is a tree. It's going to be a tree. It's not, if I plant this in the ground, it's going to be a tree. This is a tree. All of the potential in the world for that seed to become a tree is there. All that you have to do is put the thing in the ground, give it some water, and let the roots go down. Let the roots set the foundation. That's you educating yourself. That's you going through and listening to podcasts like this and getting your mindset right every single day. That's your foundation, is your mental foundation of success. And if you water that seed enough with the positive thoughts, with the right education, with the right people around you, that shell is going to crack. Those insecurities are going to crack. Those things that have kept you where you are and who you are today are going to crack. And that tree is going to start to sprout, y'all. That tree is going to start to sprout. And eventually, it's going to be this amazing, amazing thing, producing fruit, helping so many people. And where I am today, I'm so grateful for it, is I've had a chance to go through the process several times. I'm sure I'm going to go through it several more times, okay? I'm 36, okay? I've got no doubts that I'm going to go through many ups and downs and failures throughout the course of my life. Okay. I just hope that there's more ups than downs, knock on wood. But where I am right now is I've had a chance to grow several trees. I've chopped some of those trees down because it wasn't in the right spot. I wasn't doing the right thing. I didn't enjoy what that tree was producing. It wasn't in the right spot to make me happy. So I'm like, chop that tree down. Let's go over. I'm now going to transform into something new. We're going to get a new seed. That new seed is a new idea. It's a new vision. That seed is a vision. If you get the right vision and get the right seed, you plant it in the right spot, you have the right water, the right people, the right things pouring on top of it, it's going to sprout and be something amazing to fulfill your purpose. Okay. So where do you need to make that decision to go down before you can go up? Where do you need to make that decision where where you eliminate the stigma in your mind about your income stepping back, or about half of your bank account, going into a coaching program that without a shadow of doubt is going to help you when you commit to it. Or with Carrot, there's no doubt that Carrot works. We have thousands of testimonials, millions of leads that come in every year, thousands of deals that get closed, tens of millions in revenue that comes through from Carrot. There's no doubt that it works. The only question is, are you going to make it work? Are you going to transform into the person that believes and will actually execute on making this work, and get out whatever stigmas, get out whatever money mindsets you've got that are holding you back from investing in the things that will produce fruit if you actually fully invest in them mentally? Get those stigmas out of the way. Get your ego out of the way. Okay, for me, ego was the biggest issue. I felt that if I was stepping back my income from $150K to the next year, it was $27,000 because I had to pare off my businesses I wasn't passionate about. I had to chop down those trees that were planted in the wrong spot, that were the wrong tree producing the wrong fruit. I had to chop those down, and I had to start from scratch. And only because I was able to do that, was able to build a stronger foundation with the right seed, the right vision. The seed's the vision, okay? And then the people, the influences, or the water, the spot, the location is where you want to be in your unique abilities, the things you want to really focus on, okay? And then your purpose is all of the people, all those birds, all the animals, the whole ecosystem that you're going to be impacting when that tree is grown. All right? I give you permission. I give you permission to take a step back. I give you permission to go down before you can be that best version of yourself. And I also give you permission to write down right now, what are those shells? What are those shells right now that are holding you back? I'm going to be transparent with you right here, y'all, and then we're going to wrap up this episode. I've got shells right now. As I'm building this tree, as this tree right now that I'm in is 2-3 years old, it's producing fruit. It's impacting tons and tons and tons of people. This podcast is like one of the things I'm most passionate about. Okay, this is an amazing tree. I feel it's in the right spot. I feel it's in the right spot for this phase of my life. I feel the seed was the right seed this time, and the vision was the right vision, and the water and all the nutrients were the right ones, the right people, the right mental mindsets. But where I am now is I need to get through my own insecurities and how big this tree can grow. I need to get through my own insecurities on, well, maybe this tree is just going to be like a 20-foot tree. But how do I get around people that challenge me to say, you know what, Trevor? That tree's got all the potential to be a giant sequoia. That tree can be a 200-foot tree. You just need to make sure that your vision can get there. That's where I am right now. Okay, and that's why I listen to podcasts like Charlie Rocket. That's why I go to masterminds with people who challenge me. I don't go to masterminds to go and learn what other people are doing. I go to masterminds to get insight and have people challenge me by showing by showing what they're doing. I'm so inspired by that I get challenged to go and look at my tree and go, okay, am I serving this world enough? Or am I buffeting and limiting the way I'm able to serve the world because I'm not challenging myself to grow this tree bigger? The bigger the tree, the more branches it'll have, the more people it can support, the more birds, the more ecosystem it can grow. And that's what I want to challenge you. Is your vision the right vision? If it doesn't excite the crap out of you, if it doesn't get you up in the morning and pump you up, even and especially during the hard times, if you're struggling to make it through the day or the week, the vision probably isn't strong enough. If you're struggling during the day and the week, it's probably your vision that's the problem. You probably don't have a vision that's exciting you, big enough for you, and or that you believe that you can actually achieve enough. I believe you can. I believe you can. All right, so I'm going to wrap it with this, y'all. Write down right now on a piece of paper, or if you're driving, just mentally think about this, is all the way from seed to water to tree. Is your seed the right seed? That vision. I want you to write down, yes, my vision, I'm 100 million% pumped about it. My vision is going to help me help so many people. It's not just money-based. My vision is something I can latch onto this vision for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and not get tired of it. If your vision is just to make $100,000, I guarantee you're going to get tired of that. You're going to chop down that tree eventually, and you're going to plant a new one. And there's nothing wrong with that to get out of the phase of life that you're in right now. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to get to the part where you can teach yourself how to make money, and that's the skill set you need to learn. I had to learn that. I had to learn how to make money. Okay. But then I realized that that's not what life was about. So I chopped the tree down and I go, okay, I know how to make money. Now it's going to make it easier to make money on the next one. So I'm confident and I am okay with stepping back. So once again, don't think that, man, I don't want you to be overthinking this going, well, yes, this is about money. And I really want to get to $100,000 in income or $500,000 or $1 million in income. I think that has merit. Because if you bang your head against the wall all day trying to find purpose, oftentimes your purpose is just trying to become the best version of you. Okay, so if that's where you are, awesome. Build that up, find out how to make money. And then if you get to the point to where you're not happy and purposeful, don't be afraid to chop the tree down, have your income go back, but then put the tree in the right spot, the right seed, water the crap out of it, and build the right tree this time. You're going to be pumped about the purpose you're actually providing. Funny thing is your income goes way up. It's going to be a bigger tree that time. Okay. So I want you guys to think about it. The number 2 thing is the water. What do you need to change about the water? Are there influences in your life that you need to change? Do you need to spend less time with certain people that are pulling you back? Do you need to spend more time with more people who are amplifying you? Okay. What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you doing with your free time? Is that soil barren because you're not feeding it? Or are you always feeding healthy, strong water in there, which is your podcasts like this that get your mindset right, that is the videos in the morning, your morning routine, what's that water? And then third is challenge yourself on how big that tree can actually be. Okay, picture, envision the biggest possible darn tree that you can even picture. And picture all this life on the tree, all these amazing animals and bugs and birds and just cool things living within that tree. You are living within purpose. Your branches are reaching out there and capturing new air and capturing new opportunities to impact people. And you're actually casting a shadow. You're shading the ground for everything on the ground too. So that's an amazing thing. Not only are you helping the people right there within your reach, but also you're casting this amazing shadow of influence all over the entire forest. Picture the biggest possible tree you can, stretching through the sky, stretching through the clouds. The tree does not stop growing. Picture a tree that doesn't ever stop growing. And I want you to write that. I want you to draw a picture of that if you get a chance and visualize planting that in the ground, that amazing vision that you're excited about. Visualize it sprouting. Visualize the right influences coming into your life every single day. You've got to be purposeful about it. Visualize the tree just going and going and going and growing and growing and impacting more people and casting more shade to the ground. All right. All right, y'all. I could talk on this topic for like another hour. I'm not going to. I think I've made my point. But what I'd love for you to do is this. Take that, take a picture of it, or share it with me on social media. Go follow me on Instagram, trevor.mock. I've really been ramping up my Instagram in a big way, documenting a lot more behind the scenes, documenting a lot more of what I'm doing. I have hit a new phase in my life, y'all, where I've started to crack through and break through this shell. Okay. I've had an amazing ride the last 3, 4, 5 years with Carrot, but I feel like I'm just getting started now. I've figured out some of those things that were holding me back. I figured out some of the things around that shell that were holding me back, and I've had to start dealing with them. I'm not through them yet, but I've had to start dealing with them. And I am absolutely pumped that I'm just now getting started. And I believe the same about you guys. So tag me on Instagram, tag me on Facebook, what your vision is. What is that tree that you're going after? What do you need to change? Is it the shell? Is it the water? Is it your vision that you're buffeting it? Let me know the impact you've had. This episode has had on you with an Instagram message, through a story, or through the post. Okay, let me know. Number 2, subscribe to the Carrot Cast. Okay. And please give a rating or review. One thing that I'm so pumped about is I want to make my tree the biggest damn tree out there to impact more people. And I can only do that by you guys sharing and spreading the word to other people like you who this message can hit. Share and spread the word with other people like you who this message can hit, because I want my tree to be so big that it's casting such an amazing shadow on the forest that it's shadowing everything below it in a good way. Like it's impacting the forest. It's impacting everything that I reach, and all because I want you guys to have more freedom. I want you guys to have more flexibility. I want you guys to have more impact and grow your finances so you can go out there and we can build a forest together. Y'all, I want you to be right next to me doing the same thing. All right. So follow me on Instagram. Go let me know what the impact was on Instagram. Tag me to it and let people know about this episode. Screenshot this episode and then post that on Instagram and Facebook and let people know to go over here. I want this episode to change their lives. All right. Where do you need to step back and go down before you can go up? Have an amazing, amazing rest of the week. I believe in you. Go subscribe on YouTube to get the fancy little picture. This is amazing art back here. The fancy little picture on this analogy. And I love, love, love the heck out of you guys. We've got some amazing episodes of the Carrot Cast coming up. Amazing interviews with real estate agents, amazing interviews with real estate investors, and crazy, crazy pumped about Carrot Camp, spring 2019 coming up. Just go to carrotcamp.com to join us. Spring 2019. Emails are going out to market this in 2 weeks. We already have over half the spots filled up. Another person just joined yesterday, a local real estate investor or agent in Roseburg. Okay, in Roseburg, small town, 23-year-old kid, did $300,000 his first year as an agent. And he's going to be coming in the office today at 4 o'clock so I can meet him. I'm pumped to see him and other amazing, amazing investors and agents at Carrot Camp. So go to carrotcamp.com. All righty, y'all. Have an amazing rest of the week.